race for the second seed in both conferences has taken center stage as the NBA regular season nears its conclusion. In the Western Conference, the Los Angeles Lakers, the subject of endless fascination and debate, have surged into the number 2 spot, riding a 6-game winning streak. Meanwhile, in the East, the defending champion Boston Celtics recently secured a statement victory over the Denver Nuggets, but suffered a stunning collapse against the conference-leading Cleveland Cavaliers, blowing a 22-point lead. The question now looms: which second seed is more impressive at this stage? The case for Boston is rooted in their championship pedigree. The Celtics ran through last year's playoffs with a dominant 16-3 record, proving they know how to win when it matters most. Their experience, composure, and ability to close out games should make them the more trustworthy contender. On the other hand, Cleveland has yet to reach the conference finals with this core. While their size and defensive tenacity pose problems for opponents, their ability to perform under playoff pressure remains untested. Yet, despite Boston's championship status, the Lakers have captivated the basketball world with their recent resurgence. Los Angeles has been nothing short of electrifying. The Lakers have won 11 straight games against teams with a .500 or better record, an astonishing feat that underscores their transformation. Concerns persist about their lack of size, particularly against physically imposing teams. However, they possess an undeniable equalizer: Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Say that again: Luka Doncic and LeBron James. For the first time in his career, Doncic has bought into a defensive system, a revelation that has altered the Lakers' trajectory. In their recent victory over the Clippers, Los Angeles held their in-arena rivals scoreless for a staggering 7.5 minutes to close out the second quarter. A defensive stand of that magnitude from a team featuring Doncic was once unthinkable. Credit belongs to head coach J.J. Redick, who has redefined the Lakers' identity. Against all odds, Redick has overhauled this roster's defensive approach mid-season, adapting on the fly after injuries to Anthony Davis and Max Christie. He has maneuvered through adversity like a hockey coach managing line changes, maintaining defensive intensity despite constant roster adjustments. Redick deserves more than just a golf clap. He has executed one of the most impressive coaching performances in recent memory. Even with the Lakers' meteoric rise, the Celtics remain the gold standard. Entering the season, the prevailing belief was that no team would repeat as champions. The emergence of new challengers, from Denver to Milwaukee to Philadelphia, suggested that Boston's path to back-to-back titles would be arduous. But as the season has unfolded, the Celtics have proven their resilience, while Cleveland has yet to demonstrate that they can elevate their game in the playoffs. However, in today's NBA, the idea of dominant, physically imposing teams controlling the postseason landscape feels increasingly outdated. The Lakers, despite their supposed size deficiency, have thrived on defensive rotations, communication, and intelligent scrambling. While Cleveland plays a traditional big-man-oriented style, the Lakers' perimeter size and ability to cover ground mitigate their weaknesses. Right now, the Lakers are on fire, and while they may not be better than the Celtics, they are undeniably the most compelling team to watch. Beyond the NBA, the sports world delivered another bizarre boxing moment. On Saturday, Gervonta "Tank" Davis faced Lamont Roach in a controversial bout that ended in a majority draw. The defining moment came in the 9th round when Davis briefly took a knee, not from a punch, but because hair product from his freshly styled hair had dripped into his eyes, temporarily blinding him. The referee did not rule a knockdown, allowing Davis to retain his WBA lightweight title. But was this a fair outcome? The notion of fairness in boxing is often subjective, and in this case, the situation was as absurd as it was compelling. When the news broke, the immediate reaction from boxing purists and casual fans alike was disbelief. The idea that a professional fight could be altered by hair care products seemed straight out of a comedy skit. Yet, for those old enough to remember, this was eerily reminiscent of the infamous Jerry Curl Juice incidents of the late 1970s and early 1980s. For a generation, the concept of curl activator dripping into a fighter's eyes was the subject of jokes, memes, and cultural references. Though Davis was not sporting a Jerry curl, the visual of a boxer succumbing to his own hair products triggered waves of nostalgia. But sentimentality aside, The reality remains that in boxing, there are no timeouts. Taking a knee in such a scenario should result in an automatic standing 8 count. The ref missed an obvious call. A historical parallel immediately comes to mind. The first Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, versus Sonny Liston fight. In the 4th or 5th round, Ali was temporarily blinded, and both he and his trainer, Angelo Dundee, believed Liston's corner had deliberately tainted their gloves. Dundee's advice was simple. Run. Move around until you can see again. Ali followed that advice, recovered, and won the fight. Davis, by contrast, took a knee, a move that should have resulted in an 8 count. While the situation is amusing in retrospect, it underscores the chaotic nature of boxing and the ongoing need for consistent officiating. Meanwhile, women's college basketball delivered its own set of dramatic headlines. The Texas Longhorns, despite being ranked number 1 in the country, found themselves in an unusual predicament. They are not the top seed in their own conference tournament. Texas and South Carolina finished with identical 15-1 second records and split their regular season meetings. The tiebreaker? A coin flip. In a sport where every statistic is scrutinized and analyzed, the idea that a top seed could be determined by a simple coin toss feels archaic. In contrast, USC's women's team continues to shine, taking down number 2 UCLA yet again. Juju Watkins delivered another dominant performance, proving once more why she is among the best players in the nation. Playing on the road, in the legendary Pauley Pavilion, under the banners of John Wooden's dynasty, Watkins embraced the moment and took over. Her 20-point first half set the tone, and UCLA had no answer. Back on the men's side, St. John's made history by clinching its first outright Big East regular season title since 1985, ending a 40-year drought. The significance of this accomplishment cannot be overstated. For a program with such a rich basketball tradition, returning to prominence is no small feat. However, Tennessee's buzzer-beating win over Alabama provided its own drama, as a long-range shot at the horn stunned the Crimson Tide. The result may impact seeding for the upcoming NCAA tournament, adding another layer of intrigue as March Madness approaches. As the basketball world continues to evolve, one truth remains. Storylines drive the sport. The Lakers' resurgence, the Celtics' defense of their crown, boxing's latest absurdity, and the shifting landscape of college hoops ensure that every game, every round, and every moment carries weight. The unpredictability of sports is what makes them great, and right now, there's no shortage of narratives demanding attention.